boys, and welcome to this special edition of NFL TV. It's Division 1 Grand Final week, and we're lucky enough to be joined by Heidelberg captain coach Blair Harvey and Braden Shaw, the captain of the Bundoora Football Club. Thanks for coming in, boys.
Thanks for joining us.
Braden, first off, it's been a great year for Bundoora Football Club. Straight progression through to the Grand Final, a great win in the second semi-final. You finished first on the ladder, a convincing win against Heidelberg, the side that's been somewhat of your bogey team in the past. It must have been a confidence booster to get the win against Heidelberg, but also a great chance to freshen up and go into this grand final with the week's rest.
Yeah, definitely. No, it was an excellent win. I think we needed to have it. We had a couple of guys who had a few injuries, and we lost another one again in the game against Heidelberg. So to give those couple of guys an extra week to freshen up, and then obviously have the week off that we had on the weekend, and then go straight into a grand final, it's definitely going to help the feel of our guys.
And Blair, probably a bit of a different route into the grand final for Heidelberg this year. Probably been used in the past to just playing that for 1 week and going straight through. Of course, last year it happened. Unfortunately, you had a big injury in the second semi when you lost Favre, so it probably didn't work out the way you would have hoped. But this year, somewhat of a different path through. And we were just saying off camera that you went into the game against West Preston. They were in some pretty good form, but despite all that, you bounced back after the disappointing loss, and a really, I guess, an exciting game for Heidelberg. But it must give you also confidence going in that you can get one back over to Bundoora on Saturday.
It's a bit of a different route coming in. With also played 3 finals now, and then get another crack at Bundoora, who really took control in that first final we played against them. So yeah, definitely looking forward to the challenge of getting another crack at them and seeing if we can get a win. But it's going to be pretty tough, I think.
8 grand finals in a row. It's a great achievement, and for yourself as well to be leading from the front in all of that time. It's a different, I guess, approach going in the past. Probably with the exception of 1 grand final, you've gone in as favourites every single time, bar in 2006, and again this year going as the slight underdog against Bundoora. How does it feel going in with probably a bit of less pressure on your shoulders?
Oh, it feels it's still the same. I think there's still pressure there to perform. Like every game, like every grand final, there's pressure. Like it doesn't matter if you've come from 3rd, 4th, or if you've come from 1st and you've had an easy win in the first final and then you get into the grand final. I think the pressure's there for both sides. I don't think it's any different for anyone. So I think both teams are going to have to play their best to win, because I think, as you've seen throughout the season, that anything can happen on that day. So I think both teams have to come to play, and the best side will win on the day, I think.
And for yourself, Braden, obviously a confidence-boosting win 2 weeks ago, but having said that, when the first ball is bounced on Saturday, it's 0 versus 0, Heidelberg's an experienced outfit, they know what it's all about, and on the weekend, again, just proving those doubters wrong, you must be mentally just knowing that obviously you've had difficulties against Heidelberg in the past. I think it's 4 grand final losses in the past 7 years. You'll be under no illusions come Saturday that you have to be your absolute peak to win the Premiership Cup. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, we can't look back at 2 weeks ago and think that's going to happen again, because it's not going to. As I said, anything can happen in the grand final, and we went down and watched them play West Preston on the weekend, and they were fantastic. They smashed them out of the middle. We're going to have to be at our best to be able to beat them again, and hopefully we're at that on Saturday.
Well, you were quite good on, I guess, 2 weeks ago, but also just throughout the whole season, the impact that the big recruits have had. You've got Cameron Cloak, Moorcroft, Matty Dennis had probably his best game of the year against Heidelberg. Kamushiano was best on ground from all reports in that game as well. It was quite dominant against the likes of Sinclair and co. So they must bring a breath of fresh air to the club, and given the fact that they haven't been there for those, I guess, unsuccessful grand final appearances against Heidelberg, it must bring plenty of confidence to the rest of the playing group. Yeah,
definitely. Those guys, like you mentioned, have been fantastic for the whole year. They've brought some real good experience down to the club, and I'm sure come Saturday they're going to be helping us out as much as they possibly can, try and get that premiership on the board that we so much want. You know what I mean?
Well, I guess it's been a successful period for the Bundoora Football Club, but you haven't quite reached the ultimate success. It's been 15 years since the last one back in 1996. The club must be buzzing, but what would it mean to hold that Premiership Cup aloft at 5 o'clock on Saturday?
Oh, it would mean everything, to be honest. We've spoken about it. We know how long it's been, thanks for reminding us anyway. But we've spoken about it, all the players know, and I think me and Phil went through the list the other day, and I think there's about 10 players who have played in about 4 losing grand finals. So Come Saturday, and also having the 3 sides in, the under-19s and reserves as well, playing for a chance to win a premiership, it's going to be a massive day for the club. So hopefully we can perform and get 3 flags on the board. It'll just be an amazing night back at Geelong.
Well, it's not out of the rounds of possibility. Of course, Lower Plenty doing it on the weekend in Division 2, so it can be done. But Blair, last year you went in as a huge favourite to knock off West Preston. I think in the 2 games leading up to the grand final, you knocked West Preston off by an average of 90 points, and it just didn't happen on grand final. They had a lot of injuries, cruelled the campaign there. But is that play a factor going into this one? Do you speak about it to the boys going in about the hurt of last year and missing out on that premiership there?
Oh, yeah, you do. You talk about it, but that's behind us now. That was last year. That now we're all about this year, and yeah, it did hurt, and that's what I said about on the day. Like, anything can happen. You can have some injuries. You can have. You also always need good luck. Like in a final, it doesn't matter what anyone says. You need a little bit of luck to win a grand final. So yeah, you just got to hope that you don't get any injuries, and you hope that everything that you've worked over the week leading up to it works out, and you get your matchups right and all that stuff. All plays a massive part of it, and we just hope, we spoke about this off air, that we don't have any wind, and it's just a good day like it was Sunday, and 2 teams can just have a red hot crack at each other, and the best team wins.
Well, it'll be an interesting one. Of course, it is a pretty open ground at Preston City Oval. We were lucky enough on Sunday to have a pretty calm day, but one person who took the whole game by storm was Jake Williams in the middle of the ground, and he missed most of the start of the. It was an injury interrupted pre-season for him, but he was just magnificent on the weekend and far and away the best player on the ground against West Preston.
Yeah, no, he definitely played well for us on the weekend, and hopefully, yeah, he can back it up this week in the big one. It would be nice, but yeah, he did have an interrupted pre-season, and I don't think he came back till I think it was round 10 when we played Bundoora last time. It was his first game for the year.
Yeah, it was.
So he's gradually getting better. His fitness has got better, and he's worked harder. So hopefully, yeah, he can produce another game like that. Would be great.
On a personal note, going in this year, you took over as coach in round 3, and I think after round 7, I don't think anyone, well, I guess some people were keen enough to write you off. I guess in the back of most teams' mind, they would have felt that you would come in the latter half of the year. Be surprised by the improvement the side has shown, and also, secondly, how does it feel this time around being both captain coach? It must be a different feeling. Probably as a coach, you have to step back a bit, and where most of them your mates at times pull them into line. But how different is it for you going into this one as a coach as well?
Oh, it's been like you said round 3 when it all happened, and yeah, just the boys was all about. We always thought we had a good enough side to get to the finals, and that's what we aimed for, just to get the finals and then to go on from there. But I think the boys all knew that we had the side. It was just about getting everyone back on the same page again and start feeling good about each other and getting their confidence back up, which gradually over time it happened. Like, we had a few big defeats, and even like last 2 weeks ago we had a massive defeat, but it was all about just getting everyone back together, getting a bit of confidence back and all that. As the coaching part of it leading up to this week's been pretty tough. We've got to make some decisions on some blokes, which it's not easy, because I've played with a lot of these players without the course of my career. So picking a side is going to be difficult. Like I said, there's a lot of players there that I've played a long time with and may miss out, may play. So that's going to be the hard part for me over the next 48 hours, is sort of picking the right side. And like I said, it's nothing personal to any of the boys. It's just the best side that I think is going to match up best against Bundoora on Saturday.
I think there's a lot of people who aren't envious of a coach on the Thursday night selection going into grand final. But Braden, I spoke to you earlier this season, and you said you still felt that whoever won the premiership this year was going to have to beat Heidelberg. You're under no illusions that you felt that they would come right back to the top. And going into the final series, did you feel again that they will decide to beat? I know going into the pre-season, into the final series, you said so, but surely it's probably the one side that you didn't almost want to face, just given what they've done in the past.
Without a doubt. Yeah, like you said before, I said at the start of the year, when everyone was writing them off, that I said that Heidelberg will still be right up there. They're a quality outfit, hence why they've been in the last 8 grand finals. It's going to be an amazing game on Saturday, and honestly, we're going to have to be at our best. If it's anywhere like we were 2 weeks ago, I'm sure we can do the job. Yeah, we went down and watched them play on, like I said, on Saturday against West Preston, and they were back to their best again. So it's going to be right to the end. I think it's going to be a pretty close one.
Unfortunately, one player who won't be out there is the youngster in Brent Marshall, and the commitment and the courage he shows when he goes 100% at the football every single time. He's only a skinny bloke, but that must, I guess, other players must look at that and just think that's a great attribute to have, and it must just rub off on the boys as well. Unfortunately, he won't be out there. How's he pulling up around the club? But at the same time, it probably enables another one of your keys to come back into the side, and Ben Shelton looks like he's going to be fit to take his spot in the weekend.
Yeah, Nipper's it's a bit of a shattering story, really. I'm pretty good mates with young Nip. He's actually goes out with my sister, so I know him quite well. But he's shattered, as you would be. I mean, the commitment he showed on the weekend 2 weeks ago was just outlined how we played through the day, I think. So if we can do it for him and a couple of other boys, I know Timmy Mack obviously hurt himself against Northcote Park in our last game, so he's going to miss out as well. But like you said, to bring back a quality bloke and one of our vice captains like Ben Shelton, it's a pretty big in. And hopefully he can do the job for us down back.
It is, as we said, it's shaping as almost the. Well, I guess it's the grand final everyone was hoping for, because it is the powerhouse that is Heidelberg against a side which many people feel if you can get through this one, it could almost be the emerging powerhouse of the competition. And it's just been a great year, but it's almost gone to script so far. But as we know, I guess, having said that, it all means nothing if you don't come away with the premiership on Saturday.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, you can win every game throughout the season. You see it happen in other competitions where sides go through undefeated. Not that we did that this year, but we had a fantastic year. It all means nothing if we throw it all away on Saturday. So hopefully we can get the job done for the club, for the boys and ourselves, and it can be a fantastic night.
Blair, on Sunday you threw in a few late changes or a few surprises. I guess you brought in Matt Walter, and he, for mine, played a fantastic game, gave Mickey Finn a big chop out in the ruck. You haven't been afraid to play some of the youngsters. I think you said off air 7 players under 21 on the weekend. It's been probably a new thing we've seen in Heidelberg this year. You're not afraid to go with the youth policy?
No, not at all. Like, I think the kids in there, they can go either way. They can either go out and fire, or they sort of struggle a little bit. But I think bringing the kid in for a final, you see them doing it at AFL level all the time. I think it's nothing better if they're up and about and they got that enthusiasm, they get their confidence up, and it just drags everyone else along with them. Like Braden said about young Nipper there, it's unfortunate what's happened to him, but the way he went about it, and I'm sure he's holding his head up high now, and the boys will be doing everything possible for him to get that flag. And also we had Keno get reported, Jason Kennedy, against Bundoora. He got 2 weeks, so doesn't get an opportunity to play this week, and we'll be doing everything possible to try and win the flag for him, mate, so he can get a medal, even though he won't be playing, but he's still a massive part of it. He's a vice captain, and he's been really, really positive, been down to the football club. Every night hasn't missed a session with the boys, and just get really upbeat, which is really good for the boys around him. But yeah, the young kids, you can't beat them. Like, I reckon the more young kids you bring into the side, the better. You need the experienced players, but you get the young kids with enthusiasm, a bit of confidence. They're pretty cheeky, the young kids these days. So you get them running around training, and they like to give a bit of cheek to a few players. Feel the older boys feeling a bit slow and too old and all that. So you having them around, it really freshens the side up, I think. So I'm all for it. As many young kids as you can get in the side, the better, I think. Well,
it's a big round, obviously, at Preston, and both sides are under no illusions. It could be a warm day, and you're going to need the runners. But how important is that midfield battle? We know how good the Bundoora forwards are. When you have Cloak up forward, Harrison, Moorcroft, they're big names in the competition. But how important does that make the midfield battle now to restrict that supply going forward and ensuring that your tools get first crack at the footy?
I think it's important. I think you've seen for most of the finals games so far that whatever midfield gets on top pretty much goes on to win the game. So it's massive. Like, I'm sure Bundoora have got 5 or 6 blokes that could rotate through there already on top of the 3 that they've got, and hopefully we've got the same, because the game won't be won off 1 or 2 blokes' boots. It's going to take a team effort by both sides. You're going to need 22 players to fire. It just won't happen with one bloke just standing up, because grand finals, you just need everyone to stand up. It's that important.
And Braden, from the Bundoora point of view, what's the area that's most important in terms of winning the game? Do you think it is that midfield battle, or is it getting numbers back as well? We've got obviously some big men up there with Nolan and Caddy as well.
Yeah, obviously on the weekend when we watched Heidelberg, that's the key area where we thought they absolutely smashed West Preston. That was out in the middle. I think the clearances were something like 21 to 10 from the middle. So if we can get on top in there and get the ball out as quickly and as long as we can to our guys, hopefully they can do the job for us down forward. But they say the old cliche, defence wins premierships. Our defence has just been absolutely magnificent all year. So with Schultz going back down there, like he's pretty much the captain, the general back down there. It's only going to make our defence only stronger as well. So hopefully we can get on top in the middle and the defence doesn't have to worry about it too much.
Well, as we said, it is shaping as an absolute belter, and I can't wait for it. As we said, it is probably the grand final that all the fans were waiting for and hoping for, and it is coming up this Saturday at Preston City Oval. It's at 2:30. Make sure you get down there, of course. In the 19s, we've got Greensborough taking on Bundoora. That starts at 9:15, and at 11:45, the reserves game is Montmorency up against Bundoora. And then, as we said, of course, the main game from 2:30, it's Heidelberg up against Bundoora. Make sure you're there. If you can't make it, tune in to 88.6 Plenty Valley FM. You can hear all the action there. Thank you for your time tonight, and we look forward to seeing you on Division 1 Grand Final Day.